L of f of t is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. So this is the formula of Laplace transform. So if you remember, this was the starting of the unit, and as I mentioned to you, that formula is the base of this whole unit, right? Okay. Now once you write the formula, students, what you are going to find out? You are going to find out Laplace transform of f of at. So here what you can do is replace f of t by f of at on both sides, nothing else. Same formula is carry forward. F of t is replaced by f of at on both sides. Okay. If you have any doubt, if you are not understood something, you can unmute and ask me the questions. No problem. Okay. So this step you understood. Only f of t is replaced by f of at on both sides. Then what I have done here, students, see, I am substituting for at as u. Okay, I am substituting at as u. Then what happens? T will be equal to u by a. I am cross multiplying. Dt will be du by a. Normal differentiation. What will happen with the limits here? Your original limits are from 0 to infinity. So what about the new limits? When t is 0, u will be 0, because anything into 0 is 0. When t is infinity, infinity into constant is infinity. So your limits will be also same, 0 to infinity, right? Now in the next step, it is e raised to minus s t. What is t? U by a. F of at means what? F of u, because at is substituted as u. And what is dt you got? Du by a, right? Now this 1 by a is constant, which will come out, and this is remaining terms. But when I am writing this, see, I have collected s and a in one bracket. So minus s by a u. And now if you compare this integral with our formula, if you compare this integral with our formula, see what is the formula, what are the basic requirements in the formula. Integral has to be from 0 to infinity. Here also you have integral from 0 to infinity. There has to be the term e raised to minus st and f of t dt, correct? So in place of s, what you have? S by f of u du means f of t dt. Only letter is changed, but the formula will not change. So all the conditions of the formula are fulfilled by this integral. And therefore we can write it as capital F of, here we write capital F of s. Why? Because this is minus st. But here in place of s you have s by. So I can write it as capital F of s by. Okay, and this is your required right hand side. So most of these formulas are proved with the help of direct formula of Laplace transform. Comparison with the direct formula of Laplace transform. Okay, so remember the steps. First write the formula, replace f of t by f of at on both sides, put at is equal to u, find out all the corresponding substitutions and you get the required right hand side. Any doubt in this?
Ma'am, that u is just taken, no, as a just a value, no? Means that u which is
Yes,
creating.
any letter.
Okay.
Yes, any letter you can use. In place of u, you can use any letter. Because to
Ma'am,
get the
that
required,
last step, can you,
yes,
ma'am, that last step,
which
can you
last step?
explain again how that capital F comes?
Yeah, capital F means Laplace transform. See, once you understand this formula, no, this is your formula, this is your capital F of s, correct? This is your capital of f s. What is this s? S is this s from the exponent of e, right? So here in place of s, what you have? S by a. So it will be capital F of s by a. Okay, all other things are there, no? Direct comparison with the formula. Okay. Any other doubts? Now the next property is called as first shifting property. Do you remember we were using first shifting property? Can anybody tell me where we have used first shifting property? When we use first shifting property? Arbaz, can you tell? First shifting property is used when a function is multiplied by e raised to at or e raised to minus at. Okay. And now it's time to prove this particular formula. So what the formula says? Laplace of e raised to at f of t is equal to capital F of s minus a. So what was the working rule, students? You have to ignore e raised to at, get Laplace of other function and replace s by s minus a. From where you get s minus a? From the power of e. Okay, so we have used this formula while solving problems, but now we are doing the proof of this formula. Okay, so see the proof of this. First step is the formula, right? This is your formula. L of f of t is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. So this formula should be at tip of your tongue. Okay, so randomly I'm going to ask anybody, what is Laplace of f of t formula? By what it is denoted? It is denoted by capital F of s, right? What is this s? S is from the power of e, correct? Okay, now what we are going to do is replace f of t by this bracket. You are finding Laplace transform of what? E raised to at into f of t. So on both sides, if wherever there is f of t, it is replaced by e raised to at f of t. Okay? So same thing we have done in the previous formula also, in the proof of previous formula also. And then rule of indices is used. Rule of indices means what for the new students? A raised to m into a raised to n. When the base is same, you can add the powers. So it becomes a raised to m plus n. So here also see what happens. It is e raised to this plus this. This plus this means what? Minus st plus at. I am adding the powers. Now see, for the Laplace transform formula, minus sign is must outside. So what I'm taking minus sign out. So this minus s will become plus a will become minus a, and t I'm taking common. So see whether all of you understood from where I'm getting minus s minus at. So it is just the adjustment so that you can get it in the required form. Okay. And now compare it with the basic formula of Laplace transform, which is there on the same page. 0 to infinity are the limits, 0 to infinity are the limits. E raised to minus st. Here in place of s, what you have? S minus a. So it will be capital F of s minus a. Because f of t dt is there inbuilt in the formula. There in place of s, in the previous formula, you had s by a. And therefore, we wrote it as capital F of s by a. Here it is, in place of s, you have s minus a. So it is capital F of s minus a. And this is what it is asked to prove. Okay. Are you writing, students? Okay. Now let us go to the next formula, third formula. Now see the third formula. It is Laplace transform of derivative of f of t. Means what? This formula also we have used. Prove that if L of f of t is equal to f of s, then L of f dash of t is equal to s into L of f of t minus f of 0. Now, do you remember the same formula we have written in this form? L of y dash. In place of f dash, we are writing y dash. S y bar. L of f of t is y bar minus y naught. F naught is y naught. So this formula where we have used L of y dash, L of y double dash and so on. Anybody? Where we have used this formula?
To find Laplace of derivative.
Yes, we have used this formula when we solve the differential equation by using Laplace transform. So in the working rule, I have told you that take Laplace transform of every term. So when it comes to L of y dash, we use this formula. Then we have formula for L y double dash, L y triple dash also. Correct? So now it's time to prove this formula. And see the first step, students. First step is again the formula. Who will tell me quickly what is L of f of t? Bipin, can you tell me the formula, L of f of t formula without looking? Basic formula of Laplace transform.
0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt equals to f of s. Capital F
F
of
of
s.
s. Capital F of s. Deval, can you tell me why it is denoted by capital F of s? Deval? Why it is denoted as capital F of s? Hmm? Why not by capital F of P, capital F of Q? Hmm? Why capital F of S only? Hmm? Don't know, Beval? Akash, can you tell? Yes,
Because
yes,
it's
tell.
in terms of S.
Yes, because when you find out Laplace transform of some function, it is in terms of S, right? Therefore, it is denoted by capital F of S. Okay. So this is the formula. Now you are going to replace f of t by f dash of t on both sides, correct? Because you are finding L of f dash of t. Now you need to solve this right hand side integral, students. To solve this right hand side integral, you have to take help of integration by parts. Okay. Now what is integration by parts rule? Whenever you integrate product of two functions, u into v, then it is what? First function integral of second function minus integral of second function into derivative of first function. Now this new students, uh, I think Ulpa ma'am has not started with the integration, right? So today I have requested her to start if possible, because integration is very important now, and even in next unit Fourier series is full of integration, right? So I've requested her to just do the basics. But before that, we have done lots of integration. Means I have sent you some material also. I've given you the test also on integration. So just refresh your integration. You also can request her during the class if it is possible in bridge course. Okay. So you will get more practice of integration problems. So because see, integration you have to practice because lot of integration is involved here. So if possible, try to practice integration. Hmm? I will use again and again so that your basics will be clear. Hmm? Otherwise, without integration, you will find all these things very difficult. I can understand. Hmm? Okay. So on the right hand side, we have to use integration by parts rule. Integral of u into v is first function integral of second function minus integral of second function into derivative of first function, right? Now here first function is e raised to minus st, and second function is f dash of t. So look here students, nothing I have done other than substitution. First function integral of f dash of t will be f of t, right? And put the limit 0 to infinity minus second term is what? Integral of second term, which is already f of t, and derivative of u, derivative of first function. What is derivative of e raised to minus st? It is e raised to minus st into the constant, right? Constant is minus s dt. Okay, normal differentiation of e raised to minus st. So first function, integral of second function minus, I'm repeating this for new students again and again, minus integral of second function into derivative of first function. Now, whenever you are solving the definite integral, what is meaning of definite integral? Whenever there are limits of integration, we don't go for constant of integration. Plus c we don't use, right? In place of that, we substitute the limits. Now see students, when I replace t by upper limit, which is infinity, anything raised to minus infinity is 0. And then when I replace t by lower limit, anything raised to 0 is 1, and then replace t by 0. So this bracket is what? 0 minus f of 0. Now this minus s can be taken out of this integration because it is with respect to t. So minus minus will become plus. And then 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Okay. Now see, only minus f of naught is remaining here. And what is this? Who will tell me what is this integral? If you compare it with the formula, what is this integral? Andrea, can you tell what is that integral? L of f of t? See the formula right hand side. You can hear me, Andrea, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what is this integral? Isn't it L of f of t which is there on the same page? See, compare it with the right hand side. E raised to minus st, e raised to minus st, f of t dt, f of t dt. Limits are from 0 to infinity. So for this, yes. So for this integral, you can put L of f of t. But what is L of f of t, Andrea? Isn't it capital F of s? L of f of t is capital F of s. And therefore, okay, therefore s into f of s minus f of 0, and this is your required right hand side. Now suppose you want to find out Laplace of f double dash of t. You take the same formula, replace f of t by f dash of t, f dash of t by f double dash of t, that's all. You are getting L of f double dash of t formula. Okay, so in same formula you have to make the changes. Now see students, now only you try understand the proofs, right? You may not remember it unless and until you sit with the proofs again and try to solve by yourself. First you look at the proofs and prove the formulas. Then you close the notebook and try to prove by yourselves by remembering the steps. Then only it will be possible to remember all these proofs. So each proof carries at around 3 to 4 marks, and definitely 2 proofs will be there in the exam. Okay? Any particular step which you have not followed, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll go to next formula. Okay. Now the next formula is Laplace of integral. So as I mentioned to you, these formulas already we have used to solve problems. Now Laplace of integral, see the question will be like this, prove that if L of f of t is equal to f of s, then L of integral f of t dt from 0 to t is equal to f of s upon s. Do you remember students this formula? What is the working rule I had given you for this formula? First step is ignore integral sign. Second step is find Laplace of inside function, that is L of f of t, which we are denoting by f of s, and multiply above answer by 1 by s. Means it is f of s into 1 by s, that is f of s by s. So these were the working rule steps of Laplace of integral. Okay. Now, how to prove this? So remember this proof. We are denoting this inside integral by letter phi of d. What is phi? Phi is some symbol for the function, like how you use f, g, right? Similarly, phi is one of the symbols for the function. So let phi of t be the inside function, okay? Now, if I want to find out phi of 0, what will happen? In place of t, I will be putting 0. So upper limit and lower limit will be 0. And when both the limits of definite integral are 0, the value of the integral becomes 0. And therefore, I am getting phi of 0 is equal to 0. Now, what will be phi dash of t? When I differentiate this integral will get cancelled, right? And I will get only the inside function, which is f of t. Okay. Now, see the next step. I am writing Laplace of phi dash of t. What will be L of phi dash of t? Just now we have proved the formula in terms of f. What is Laplace of f dash of t? S into L of f of t minus f of 0. So in place of f, I am using the letter phi. So I can say here this is nothing but previous formula which we have proved just now. Okay. But what is phi of 0 you got here? It is 0. And you get this, right? Now, L of phi of t I am writing on this side, and this s is cross multiplied, so it will go to the denominator, 1 by s L of phi dash of t. And now what is left is only you have to put the values of phi of t and phi dash of t. So put values of phi of t and phi dash of t. What is phi of t, students? In the beginning we have taken, it is nothing but this integral from 0 to t f of t dt. 1 by s. What is phi dash of t? Phi dash of t we got it as SL of phi of t. Correct? What is this SL of phi of t? It is, what is this value? It is f of t you got. Phi dash of t you got as f of t. So I'm just changing the bracket. In place of phi dash of t, I'm putting f of t. Right? But what is L of f of t? It is capital F of s, and upon s is already there. And this is your required right hand side. So I don't think it is difficult to understand these proofs. Any doubt at any step? If you're not followed some step, you can ask me. I'll explain again. You are there, no? All of you? Okay, now the fifth one. Akash, are you understanding the proofs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then what about new students? Kingsley?
Please, can you repeat the last step which you did? This how you substituted the value.
Yeah, this substitution we have already done in the beginning, no? See, this is phi of t. Phi of t, we have assumed this integral, no? So this integral comes in place of phi of t here. And what is phi dash of t? This is phi dash of t. What is substitution for phi dash of t here? That is f of t, right? Because when you differentiate integral sign, integral and differentiation gets cancelled. And you get only inside function. That's why it is f of t. So that f of t is coming here. But what is L of f of t? It is capital F of s. Okay?
Okay.
You need to work little hard on this, new students, please. Sit with the proofs again. Try to understand. See, I'm uploading, Ishan is uploading the class videos. So I have sent you the link. That link is also there on our normal group. So follow that link. Whenever he is recording the videos, he is putting that link on that channel. Then plus I'm sending the notes also. You have to really sit and study for this. At least 1 hour every day. Otherwise you will find it difficult. And still if you have doubt in any step, I'm there to help you. But please.
Ma'am,
allot
for
some
how many
time
marks
for
it
maths.
comes?
Okay. Proof,
Hello, ma'am.
it comes at around each proof may come sometimes 3 marks each or 4 marks each. Yes? Yes, you can't hear me? Proof comes for 3 marks or 4 marks. Akash,
Yes, ma'am.
voice is breaking.
Ma'am, this proof for how many marks, ma'am?
Okay. It comes for 3.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Could you hear me?
Ma'am,
And
not
definitely
clear,
2
ma'am.
proofs are there in exam. Chemistry.
Screen is also blur, ma'am.
Screen is better. Is it better now? Yes, students, is it better? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us go to 5th property. Somebody's please unmute your mic, please. Somebody's mic is on. Whose mic is on? Okay. Now see the next property. It is Laplace transform of t into f of t. Right? Multiplication by t. You know that when you're multiplying by t raised to n, it is -1 raised to n, nth order derivative of Laplace transform of f of t. If it is only t, then you have to take minus d by ds L of f of t. So this property also we have used to solve examples. Now in the proof, your first step is the formula itself, normal formula, L of f of t, that is f of s is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t. Now see what we are going to do is this left hand side is capital F of s, right? We are differentiating both sides with respect to s. Now see students, we are differentiating with respect to s, which is very important here. So derivative of left hand side is equal to derivative of right hand side. Now all of you listen carefully. If you are differentiating and integrating with respect to same variable, then only it gets cancelled with each other. And you get the inside function, which we got in the previous formula, in the proof of previous formula. But here the case is different. You are differentiating with respect to s and you are integrating with respect to t. So in this case, what we do is we take this ordinary derivative under the integral sign and it becomes the partial derivative, which is dou by dou s of e raised to minus st f of t dt. This particular rule is called as differentiation under integral sign, and the short form is DUIS. Means what? Ordinary derivative goes under the integral sign, it becomes the partial derivative. Now when you are differentiating with respect to x, so for the new students, let me tell you what is meaning of partial derivative. When you are differentiating with respect to one variable, other variable behaves as constant. So with respect to s, what will be derivative of e raised to minus st? It will be e raised to minus st into the constant. So constant will be minus t here. Now why? Because you are differentiating with respect to s. And this f of t dt will be as it is. Okay. Now this is rearrangement. Minus t of t is collected here. E raised to minus st is written same. Now if you compare this integral with your formula, 0 to infinity is there, e raised to minus st is there, dt is there. So this itself is your function for which you are finding Laplace transform. So L, it is nothing but Laplace of this. In place of f of t, you have minus t f of t. Now this minus sign is transferred to other side. So L of f of t into f of t is minus d by ds f of s. And then when you increase the power here by 2, it will be minus 1 square, second order derivative. If it is t cube, then it is minus 1 cube, third order derivative. And in general, nth order derivative is minus 1 raised to n, nth order derivative of f of s. Okay. Any doubt at any step? Okay, now let us go to next property, property number
Just
6.
1 second, just copying the last step.
Okay. You can see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next property is division by t. Now, when we were solving problem based on this, students, I had mentioned to you that whenever the function is multiplied by t, it is in the form of differentiation. Whenever the function is divided by t, it is in the form of integration. Okay. So here also, if you observe, Laplace transform of f of t by t is equal to integral of f of s ds. So let me repeat the working rule for this, which we have already used while solving examples. I told you to ignore t from denominator first. Get Laplace transform of numerator, which we are denoting by f of s. And whatever answer you get, you have to integrate it within the limits s to infinity. So based on this working rule, we have solved the problems, if you remember. Okay. And now, as I said, we are going to prove this. So now starting is what? L of f of t is equal to f of s. This is our main formula. Now in the proof of the previous formula, we had differentiated both sides, correct? Here we will integrate both sides because our formula is in terms of integration. Integrate both sides with respect to t, but within the limits h to infinity. What are the expected limits? H to infinity, right? So both sides I'm integrating, see, from h to infinity. This is the right hand side already, which is again one more integral. So integral within integral. So it is double integration on the right hand side. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is everything is constant here. The limits are constants, right? So I can definitely separate the terms in s and t. So in the innermost integral, what I'm taking only terms in s, e raised to st and ds. And in the outermost integral, I'm taking only f of t dt. Okay, only the arrangement of the terms. Now innermost integral you can easily solve, e raised to minus st upon minus t. Why minus t here? Because you are integrating with respect to s. So t is a constant, right? And the limits are s to infinity. I am not touching f of t dt at all, see. Now replace t by upper limit, e raised to minus infinity, and replace t by lower limit, which is s. Okay, so you are replacing s by s itself. Anything raised to minus infinity, you know it is 0. Minus t is taken out because it is not related to s. So finally what remains is e raised to minus st. Minus minus will go, students. Two minus signs are there, see. So it is f of t by t e raised to minus st. And now this whole integral, if you compare it with your formula, in place of f of t, what you have? F of t by t. So it is Laplace of f of t by t. Okay. So Laplace of f of t by t is equal to integral from s to infinity capital F of s ds, which is your left hand side. So just interchange the right hand side and left hand side. So this is also easy. You have to write the main formula, integrate both sides within the limits s to infinity. Right hand side you will get the double integration where the limits are the constants. So first simplify the innermost integral with respect to s and then outermost integral. And when you go to solve outermost integral, you will get ready-made Laplace transform formula. In place of f of t, something else is there, so it will be Laplace of that. And your formula is ready. Any doubt at any step? Okay. These pics I will put on the group so that if you have missed something in between, you can write down. Now the seventh one. Now see students, this is the proof on Laplace transform of periodic functions. Now this proof comes for 6 marks, not for 3-4 marks. Okay, because this is little bit lengthy proof. Now Laplace transform of periodic function, how the problem will come? Prove that if f of t is a periodic function with period capital T, then L of f of t is equal to integral from 0 to capital T e raised to minus st f of t dt upon 1 minus e raised to minus st. Do you remember, students, we have solved problems based on this formula also, and I had told you that time how to remember this formula. If you see, this numerator is nothing but our Laplace transform formula itself, but there the limits are from 0 to infinity, here the limits are from 0 to t. E raised to minus st f of t dt is already there in the formula. And what is extra here? Divided by 1 minus e raised to minus s of capital T. Okay. Now we are going to prove this formula. Proof is not difficult, but little bit more steps are there in this. As usual, first step is your formula step. L of f of t is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt, right? Now see what is done here, students. 0 to infinity is where? Suppose this is 0. Where is infinity? You don't know where is infinity. So this side somewhere. If you go to left of 0, then it will be minus infinity, right? Now this is divided in intervals 0 to t. t to 2t, 2t to 3t. So the length of every interval is kept tc. 2t minus t is t, 3t minus 2t is t, 4t minus 3t is t. Why? Because t is our period of the function, correct? So this main integral 0 to infinity is divided in different intervals, different integrals. First will be 0 to t, then t to 2t, then 2t to 3t, and so on up to infinity. We don't know where it will end because up to infinity it is. Okay, infinity means something which we don't know. All of you understood how the integral is splitted? Inside function, if you observe, it is same in all. Then the key step is here. You have to remember few substitutions. Put t is equal to u plus t, where in second integral. We are not going to touch first integral. Put t is equal to u plus 2t in the third integral. Put t plus u plus 3t in the fourth integral. And so on. So every time we are taking t, 2t, 3t, 4t, 5t, and so on. Okay. Now these substitutions, when you use, there will be some changes in the integrals. So see carefully, students. First integral, as I said, I am not touching at all. So this integral is as it is. In the second integral, I am putting t is equal to u plus t. So what will be dt? dt will be du, right? Because derivative of t will be 0. Capital T is finally some constant, right? Period of the function. So wherever there is dt, I'll be writing what? Du there. So all of you understood from where this du came? Okay. Now, e raised to minus st. T is u plus t. F of t. T is what? U plus t. What will happen with the limits, students? See. Only concentrate on second integral. Original limits are from t to 2t. When I put t is small t is equal to capital T, what will happen? T will get cancelled, and what will be u? U will be 0. When I put small t is equal to 2t, then what will happen? U will be equal to what? 2t minus t. So it is t. So your new limits are from 0 to capital T in the second integral. Similarly, in the third integral, we are putting t is equal to u plus 2t. So what will be dt? Again, it will be du because derivative of 2t will be 0. Think about the limits. Original limits in the third integral are 2t to 3t. So when you replace small t by 2t, 2t will go and you will get u is equal to 0. So lower limit will become 0. Then when you replace small t by 3t, 3t minus 2t is t. So upper limit will become t. In other should be from 0. Okay, in every it will be 0 to t. Is changed, right? Just give me 1 minute. I'll just change the orientation. Okay, students, you can see now. So these are the key steps. So now try to understand.
Can I explain
and
the
then
previous?
try to write down this again independently. Then only it will be perfect. Okay. So in, as I said, every integral you are getting the new limits from 0 to t. Now see students, we have already said that our function is periodic, right? Periodic means what? Even if you add t, 2t, 3t, it will become f of u only. Meaning of periodic function means what? F of u is same as f of u plus t. It is same as f of u plus 2t, f of u plus 3t, and so on. So now in above integrals, wherever I have f of u plus t, I'll put f of u. In the next integral, I have f of u plus 2t. Again, I am putting f of u for that. So all these functions are replaced by f of u. And at the same time, one more step is done. Here, by using rule of indices, see, this is e raised to minus su minus st, right? So what is independent of u? That term can be taken out. So e raised to minus st, because it is e raised to minus su into e raised to minus st. So the term which is independent of u can be taken out. So that's why e raised to minus st is taken out here. But term in u should be kept inside because your integration is with respect to u. Same thing is done in the next integral also. If you split this, how it will look? It will be e raised to minus su into e raised to minus 2st. So this is independent of u. So that term is coming out of this integral. Whereas e raised to minus su is remaining inside. So if you continue for two more integrals, you are going to get the same thing. Next integral, can you guess? It will be e raised to minus 3st. And this integral will come same. So if you observe, all these integrals are same. So that integral is taken common. So what is remaining from this integral? Nothing means 1. From here only outermost term will remain. Here also outermost term will remain. If there is one more integral, then e raised to minus 3st will remain. Now you may ask me, this is in terms of t, this is in terms of u. It doesn't make any difference because that is called as the dummy variable. If you have something in terms of different letters, means it is same. Even if I change t to u, the meaning will remain same as Laplace transform. Okay, so the common integral is taken. And now, if you remember the first semester series part, what is 1 plus x square plus x cube up to x raised to n and infinity? This is nothing but the expansion for 1 minus x raised to minus 1. I told you at that time, minus minus becomes plus and all terms becomes positive. If middle sign is plus, then there are alternate changes in the signs. So this is the famous series. Raised to minus 1 means what? 1 upon 1 minus x. So if you compare this formula with this, isn't it 1 plus x square plus x cube? Because see, you can see raised to 2, raised to 3 and so on. So your x is what here students? E raised to minus st. So it is 1 minus x means 1 minus e raised to minus st, and this integral as it is written in terms of t because u is a dummy variable. Okay. And this is what we want to show on the right hand side. This is our formula for Laplace transform of periodic functions. This is a little bit lengthy proof, but not difficult once you understand. And this comes for, if it comes, it will come for 6 marks. 6, sometimes 7 marks each. Okay. Anything? Any particular step? If you are confused.
Miss, the last step what you did there?
Yes.
The last step, miss. The 1 plus x square.
Yes. See, this is a series. 1 minus x raised to minus 1 is an infinite series. What is formula for this series is 1 plus x square plus x cube and so on. This is the formula. Okay. So I am comparing this expansion with our bracket here. So isn't it 1 plus x square? Because see, this is, if you go to write it again, how it will be? 1, see, 1 plus e raised to minus st plus e raised to minus st bracket square plus e raised to minus st bracket cube plus e raised to minus st bracket raised to 4 and so on. Okay. Means what? 1 plus x square plus x cube plus x raised to 4 and so on. So what is x here? X is e raised to minus st, no? So according to this expansion, it is 1 upon 1 minus x value of this series. Therefore, it is 1 upon 1 minus e raised to minus st. And this integral as it is. And this is what is the required right hand side. Understood now? Is direct comparison with the series. Any other doubts, students? Now what I'll do is, there is one function which is called as Dirac delta function. Okay. Now let me explain what it is, Dirac delta function. Dirac delta function is also called as unit impulse function. Now look at this diagram. On this axis we have t and on this axis we have f of t. Now this function is defined as 0 when t is less than a. So if you see this part, there is no function, there is no curve. So what is value of the function here? It is 0. This last part also see, greater than a plus epsilon, it is 0. But within this range, a to a plus epsilon, the value of the function is 1 by epsilon, which is the height of this rectangle. What is epsilon? Epsilon is a very small number. So in mathematics, whenever we are talking about very small number like 0.000001 or something, we use the letter epsilon. Okay. So if you understand this diagram, then function is 0 here in this part, function is 1 by epsilon in the middle part, and function value of the function is 0 in the last part. So this function is divided in 3 parts. Okay. Now, how the Dirac delta function is defined? Dirac delta function is defined as limit of Laplace of this function. So let us find Laplace of this function, f of t. So as usual, I am writing the basic formula, e raised to minus st f of t dt. But what is happening? You have to divide this interval 0 to infinity. See, this is 0 to infinity, no? 0 to infinity. So first is from 0 to a. So first integral is from 0 to a. Second is from a to a plus epsilon. And third interval will be a plus epsilon to infinity. What is value of the function here? 0. What is value of the function here? 0. So first integral and last integral are vanishing. And what is value of the function in the middle interval? 1 by epsilon. So f of t is replaced by 1 by epsilon. So it is division of integrals according to the intervals given in the function. So first and last integrals, why they are vanishing, you understood? Because the values of the functions are 0 in the first and last one. Only middle integral is appearing. Now you have to solve the middle integral. 1 by epsilon is a constant, it will come out. Integral of e raised to minus st is e raised to minus s upon minus s. Limits are from a to epsilon. Replace t by upper limit, then by lower limit. Then by rule of indices, you can split this, no? E raised to minus a into epsilon and e raised to minus s into epsilon. So e raised to minus a into as will come out, which is common. And then this will remain. E raised to minus s into epsilon minus 1. Minus 1, why? Because this term is taken out. Now epsilon is taken here and minus s is kept out. So this is what you get after putting upper and lower limits, right? Now, once you get this, this is Laplace transform of f of t you got. Laplace transform of f of t you got. Okay. Now, as I said, how the Dirac delta function is defined, it is denoted by letter delta. Laplace transform of delta t minus e is limit of whatever you got as epsilon tends to 0. So what happens? 1 by s is constant. E raised to minus s is constant with respect to epsilon. So you are finding limit of this. If you directly replace epsilon by 0, you will get 0 by 0, no? Because anything raised to 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0 by 0. Whenever you are getting 0 by 0, do you remember what we call 0 by 0, infinity by infinity? They are called as indeterminate forms. Last semester also you learned, no? Indeterminate forms. So which rule you go for? You go for L'Hopital's rule, or we call it as L'Hospital's rule. Means you have to take derivative of numerator upon derivative of denominator till you get some valid answer. Derivative of 1 is 0. Derivative of this with respect to epsilon, because epsilon is tending to 0. E raised to minus epsilon s into constant will be minus s. S will get cancelled, and when you replace epsilon by 0, you get 1 here. and the final answer is e raised to minus as. So Laplace transform of Dirac delta function is e raised to minus as. If you put a is equal to 0, what you will get? L of delta t is equal to 1 you will get, because a is equal to 0. So this is very important property, students. L inverse of 1 will be delta t. L inverse of 1 will be delta t. So sometimes you may come across, because see, there is no formula for L inverse of 1, right? You have L inverse of 1 by S. You have L inverse of K by S. You have L inverse of 1 upon S minus A, 1 upon S plus A, but you have never heard about L inverse of 1. But suppose you come across L inverse of 1 anytime, its answer is in terms of Dirac delta function. So it is delta t. Okay. So this is a small part. Actually, they don't ask questions on this part, Dirac delta function, but just as it is there in the syllabus, I have just told you what it is and how it is used. Okay. So most of the things are done from this unit. Today's lecture was just the theory. I can understand you must be getting bored with this. So these are only proofs I was talking about. So next time I will start with the new unit. But before that, I want you all to be perfect in integration, please. Right? So somehow practice integration. New students, though, definitely I will advise them. But even the other old students also, if you are not, like, for example, somebody was telling me that my integration is not good. So formulas are already put on Google Classroom. You can watch some videos, YouTube videos on basics of integration, definite integral. Watch definite integral videos. So that next topic will be easier for you. Okay, now let me take the attendance. CTC. One. Use attendance. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4 is not there. 5, 4 is there. Okay. 6, 7.
Present,
6,
ma'am.
7. 6 is not there. 9, 10, 11. 6 is there. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.